This is Josh here from InsideWrestlingTruth, and today's guest is the heel of all heels, the bad attitude, Beech. How you doing, Brian?
All right, how are you?
Pretty good. The first question I have for you is, tell us where you're from and who trained you.
I'm actually from Northern Kentucky, but I actually was trained in Cincinnati, Ohio by Roger Ruffin at Bone Crushers Pro Wrestling School.
How long have you been in the business, and how did you get into the business?
Well, actually, it seems like I've been in this business all my life because this is a dream. This is what I always wanted to do. But I actually started in 1997 is when I actually signed the line and started training. And 16 years later, I'm still going.
Who were some guys you followed growing up, and what was some of your favorite gimmicks?
Some of the guys that I followed growing up, without a doubt, has to be Macho Man Randy Savage was a big one. Rowdy Piper, the Legion of Doom. Brian Pillman was, obviously one of my all-time greatest. Man, there's a list of guys I can keep going.
Yeah.
The Four Horsemen, tons of guys.
What's been your worst injury?
My worst injury, actually, it was two injuries that happened actually in one match. It was a shattered elbow actually right here, which I had an elbow replacement done there, and I got 5 rods in my right shoulder. I actually did both injuries in the same match. I was out for a year and a half.
So far in your career, what's been your favorite match?
Oh, my favorite match. Gosh, I can say there's a lot of favorite matches I've had. I'd say my all-time favorite, the one that will always stick out in my head, was January of 2013, Lima, Ohio, for War Wrestling at the War 10-year anniversary show. It was no one knew I was coming. I was a mystery 5th guy in War Games, and it was a company that I started with 10 years ago, and I was out for a year and a half, and finally the night that I came back, the reaction that I got was unbelievable.
What's been your favorite company to work for?
Oh, my favorite company. Wow, I got a list of companies I love to work for. I really can't just put one out.
Yeah.
I like having fun and doing what I do best for any company that puts me on the show.
Do you have a favorite road story or rib or anything? Would you share?
Favorite road story. Wow, I got a lot of road stories. Some of them I don't think I really want to say because it would probably cross the borders, probably on my favorite ones. I don't know. I'm going to leave that one blank right now. There's quite a few.
Who's your favorite guy to work with in the Indies?
Favorite guy to work with in the Indies? I'd have to say Cody Hawk and Jock Sampson. Those are probably my 2 favorite guys.
If you could work with any guy from any era, who would it be?
Any guy from any era. I'm going to have to pick 3 guys on this.
Okay.
I'm going to have to say Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, and Randy Savage.
What's been your favorite moment in your career so far, if you could pick one?
My favorite moment in my career, wow. I don't know. I'd have to say one of my favorite moments that really let me know and hit all reality that I finally actually done something of what I wanted to do was probably in 2001. I was on a show, and I actually, it was one of the first shows I was actually with a lot of the legend guys that I grew up watching. I actually worked with Jake Roberts that night, Jake the Snake Roberts, but it was Greg the Hammer Valentine, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Ricky Morton, Honky Tonk Man, Jimmy Snuka.
Uh-huh.
It was a stacked show that night. So that night when I was actually in that locker room and I seen the guys that I actually grew up watching, it gave me what I wanted to do to get in this business. It really hit me that I was there.
What guys in this business can you call real friends?
Wow. real friends in this business. If you can count on one hand your real friends in this business, you're a lucky guy. And I've been in it 16 years, and I'm just now hitting those 5 real friends in this business, because this is a different sport, business, however you want to look at it.
What's your favorite city or town to work in, and why?
Favorite city? Wow, there's quite a few of them as well. I'd have to say my favorite city to work in would have to be Lima, Ohio, just because that's a company that I've been with since the very start. I've seen where it's gone, and it actually feels like home to me.
What titles have you held in your career?
Wow, oh man, titles in my career.
Or
Well,
which one means the
there's-
most that you've held?
Man, I can name a list of titles that I've held. I'd say the one that meant the most to me was probably the HWA Television Championship. I held that 3 different times. There was a lot of young guys and a lot of guys that made their breaks with WWE that actually held that title, and I was actually privileged to hold that title. But roundabout holding titles, wow. It's not being an arrogant ass, but I've held a lot of titles.
What do you think about hardcore wrestling?
Hardcore wrestling. You know, I have a lot of great friends that wrestle hardcore. I don't have nothing against hardcore wrestling. Am I a hardcore wrestler? No. Have I done my time in hardcore wrestling? Yes, and I have the scars to prove that. I'm not going to really downgrade hardcore wrestling. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, look at ECW. If it wasn't for what they did in the business, a lot of the stars you'd have today wouldn't be there.
What do you think is the biggest problem with the indies?
Biggest problem with the indies? Wow. There's another one that I can go on and on about. It's probably the people that don't give a shit about this business, that just want to go out there and play Mr. Wrestler or Mr. Promoter and don't care. And the guys that paved their way, the guys that paved their way for me, the guys that paved their way for those guys that paved their way for me, and the list can go on. It's just being disgraced by what some of these people are doing for this business right now. And calling yourself a professional wrestler, and, you know, I don't know, I can go on and on and on about that. It's a whole other can of worms.
What's your favorite pro wrestling moment?
Of all time? Like
Yeah.
any pro wrestling
Yeah.
moment? I'd have to say me, of course, coming back after the injury. That's my favorite all-time moment. So I'm finally back doing what I do best, and the only thing that I know to do.
Who's been the stiffest guy you worked with?
Stiffest guy I work with. If you ask a lot of other people, they'd probably say me. But I'd have to say Suicide from back when I first started, and a guy named Psycho Sam Cody, an all-time legend.
When you retire, how do you want to be remembered?
When I retire, if I ever do, probably in a Dyno's ring. But I just want people to remember me, you know, regardless if I made it on WWE or TNA, Ring of Honor, WCW, ECW, wherever I've been, whatever I've done, just know that I busted my ass, and this is what I love to do, you know. Whether if it's put me in a mansion or a shack or whatever, you know, this is what I do, and I just want people to remember me for loving this business, taking the time, busting my ass, doing what I did for these fans, and trying to help out the young guys so they don't make some mistakes some of that I did.
Brian, I appreciate you coming on and doing this interview with me, man. It means a lot. Do you have any last words or anything you want to say to the fans out there?
Now, if you guys want to follow me, it's easy. Just follow me, Brian Beech, Facebook, and follow me the whole 9 yards there, when and where I'm going to be in 16 years now and 16 more years to go.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.